Hello and welcome. This is Ruth, and today I have a huge die set to share with you. This is one of Tonic's Birthday Week 2024 launches, and it's called the Truck and Track Christmas die set, and there are 106 dies in there. It's a fabulous, great big die set, and it makes a little Christmas train and a Christmas truck as well. So I will give you the sizes before I go any further, and then that way, if I forget at the end, well, we've done it already. So the approximate finished size of the train is 235 millimeters by 120 millimeters by 60 millimeters, which is 9.3 inches by 4.7 inches by 2.4 inches. And the truck then is 210 millimeters by 115 millimeters by 60 millimeters, which is 8.3 inches by 4.3 inches by 2.4 inches. And I know you're going to ask, the largest die is 6.8 by 7.2 inches. So I hope that helps. Now I'm going to have a very quick look at what's in this die set. Where did that even come from? Oh, do you know there's so many dies in that? Probably down there. There are so many dies in that this is my large magnetic stand, because I've actually run out of magnetic sheets. So I've got one lot on an A4 magnetic sheet here, and the rest sort of crammed onto the other half of my big stand, because I do not want to lose any of these pieces at all. So having a very quick look at it here, we'll see that there are basic shapes here that you can cut out to make the train and the engine and the truck and whatnot. And then obviously if you look here, you'll see that it's going to be a little advent train. So that's what I'm going to make today. I've been asked to make an advent train, or at least a train anyway, with carriages, and show you how to make the train, engine and one carriage. So I'm going to have a quick look, as I said, and the first thing I notice is, if you've had the train set before, there was one wheel in that train set. Thankfully now there's 3 in this one, so you don't have as much die cutting to do. As I said, advent little doors here to go on the sides of the engines, and then over here you'll find the numbers that you can use to put in here. Lots and lots of Christmas decorations for this, but don't forget, it doesn't have to be just for Christmas, because you could obviously decorate this with well, all sorts of things from some of your other die sets and some of the stuff you have in your stash. But it is really beautiful. Look, there's Santa waving out of the window, and it says Merry Christmas on this debossing die, and a little teddy bear and bells and all sorts of things here. Snowflakes. It is absolutely beautiful when it's made up. So if you want to see more of this kind of video and you enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and then if you have liked it as you're going through, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and leave me a little comment as well to let me know how you enjoy the videos and if you like what I've made at the end of it. My affiliate links for everything I've used will be down below in this description. Thank you so much to everybody who already uses those. I really appreciate that. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does give me a little commission. And I should say too, I've been asked to remind you that subscribing to my channel doesn't cost you anything either. That's totally free, but it does help me. That rhymes, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm going to go and do some die cutting. I've looked at this and so many colours just jumped into my mind right away. I think I'll probably go for ivory, red and gold with a bit of green, but we'll see how we get on. I'll be right back. I've got lots of die cutting done now, but this is the main panel, and I'm going to show you how to put this together, and then I'm going to decorate it after that. So it's very simple, just to cut this one out and burnish and reinforce all of those score lines, and then you'll just go ahead and fold all of these in here, and then you'll have those little glue tabs like that. Then when you get that like that, you'll take the die that is called the little door piece, and I'm going to show you where to find it on here. It's this one. So you'll cut that out, and then that gives you this piece, and that fits just across there. So it's pretty straightforward. Now you can take the little roof part, and again, I haven't decorated this. I can add that on later. Some of you might prefer to decorate this as you go along, but it's fairly straightforward to do it either way. It doesn't really matter. So score and fold that down the centre, and then we're going to put glue on these two tabs and attach that on in the back of this point here, and then glue on here and here, and that will go on up in here. This die then cuts out the engine cover, and you'll need to cut 2 of those, and you'll see the way that's divided into 3. So there's one little piece at the top of each of them, and it only has one glue tab. So if you alternate these so that one is folded over the top of the other, that means then that there's a glue tab on either side of this. Go ahead and glue it by that central part there and attach them both together just like that, and that way then you have glue tabs the whole way down both sides. You'll know you've done it right when you've got it like that. And then fold that over like this, and you should have 2, you should actually have 3 of these pieces cut. So I'm going to put one in here. You just glue all these pieces right around like that and attach them, and then we'll go ahead and put one over the back there to cover up those glue tabs and strengthen that. This little die then cuts the 2 pieces for the chimney, so I have just glued them both together by the little glue tab in the center, and now take the last glue tab and attach it on there and make just one hole round with that, and you just burnish it down like that and make sure the glue is well taken, and then you can fold all of these little pieces in top and bottom, and that's where the little hexagon comes in. So that's the little one I lost in the first place. I didn't know where it had gone to on my die set, but now I know, and it goes on here and the other end. And now you can go ahead and attach these pieces. So this gets glued on here, and then this gets glued on here. Whenever I glued these 2 pieces together, and I was just about to glue this one on, I thought I'll just go ahead and decorate it before I do that, because there's a lovely little panel that goes on here, and you can see I've already done one side there. So I will just show you what I've done, and then we can move on, but this little panel will go on before that one. So I've taken this die here and I've cut that out in red just like that, and then I have used this one and this one together to create a second layer in gold, and I've got this one here, and this now then goes onto the roof. That's a really beautiful little, do you know, the red and gold just goes together so well in this, but it's beautiful against the cream. But you have a little look at it as I'm doing it, and maybe you'd fancy different colours for Christmas. It doesn't have to be reds and golds, but I really love that against the warm sort of ivory there. Now for this panel here, I have cut out this little die in red here, and then I have used this one and this one together in gold, and that has given me this little panel, which I'm now going to glue on here, and then I'll put on here just as you can see I've done on that panel there. Look at your die set here. The areas for the decoration are actually right inside the panels that you'll be cutting out to put on in the first place. So this is the little engine cover here, this outside die, and then these are the pieces to go inside it. So you'll see one of these is slightly wider than the other. There's not an awful lot of difference, but I've put the slightly wider one on the center here, and then I have used this one. So I've cut out the outside die again here in red, and then the two together in gold, and I've done that twice, and this one is going on there as well. It's pretty foolproof, And I don't honestly think that if you mix those little panels up, there's so little difference in them, I don't think it would make much difference to the finished result anyway. There we are, that's that bit. And then I'm going to do this bit. So I have cut out again the back panel here in red, and then used this one and this one together in gold. And you can see I've actually just put a little bit of lighter gold in behind the lights there, and there it is. I'm going to put it on here. So that's another lovely panel right on the front of it. Now we've got another panel to go on here, and you'll need to cut out this one and this one together, and I've done that in red. So that's going on here, and then you'll see whenever you cut this through that it actually cuts out the center. So you've got this little red panel. Don't throw that away, hold on to those, because you might want to layer that up or use that for something else, a little tag or something on a card or something else. You know, think outside the box. I never dump stuff like that. And then we've got some bit of gold card that I put in behind that, and I've cut out this, so that's going on there. And then there's another little rectangle, or sort of rectangle with the chamfered corners, and that will go directly on here. And that's why I hold on to all these little pieces of scrap card, because you can sort of use up your little pieces first before you start cutting into the bigger parts. There are other dies here as well then for decoration after that, snowflakes and candy cane presents and holly and ivy and all of that stuff. I'm going to leave all of that, what I would call the last layer of decoration, to the very end, but I just wanted to get this to this stage first before I move on. Finally, for this little part, back to the funnel. So I have cut that out in ivory as I showed you at the start, and then I've got some gold cut out on the top of it in a little hexagon. And now that I've got that panel on there, I can add this directly onto the front here. Moving on to the little carriages then, you'll take this die for the side of the carriage, and then you'll want to cut this panel into it if you're going to make it into a little advent calendar. So that will cut the little doors into it, and then you can see there that there's lots of little decorative panels for the doors, and it's definitely better to go ahead and, well, it's easier to go ahead and decorate the panels before you assemble the little box. But I'm going to do it the other way around because I haven't got those cut out yet, and obviously then I'm going to make the full thing in one go. So I want to show you this part first. You will then need this piece, and you'll cut that out twice. You cut this out twice as well, sorry, that one twice and this one twice. And then if you're making the advent calendar, you'll need 6 of these for each little compartment. So let's have a little look at what we're doing here. I've cut out these 2 panels, and then I've taken this one, and you can see here that I'm going to use this panel on here with the doors. So I've put this directly on top, run it through my die cutting machine, and then when it comes out, you'll see all the little doors on there. That's then when you would go ahead and decorate it with all these little pieces here, and you can actually just add those on and then add the little numbers on. You'll see I'll have done that whenever I come back. But at this stage, I'm going to go ahead and make one of these up. So the 2 of these together, then I'm just going to move this over this way, and then this one will get attached on here. So I'm just going to put glue down this edge and add that on there, just like that. So you'll see in a minute, once that glue grabs, I'll turn that over and you can see exactly how this is going to go together. That will then form the sort of net for the little compartment. I couldn't remember the name there. So that's it, but we need the base and the roof on as well. So if you turn it back over this way again, you'll see exactly where this has to go. This glue tab goes here, and this one will go here. You can do it either way, just glue this directly on top that way, or turn it over and slide this in here and here. So I'll do that first, and then I'll come back and show you how to add the little compartments into it. So now coming back to this die, as I said before, I've got that out 6 times, and the reason is one of them has got to go in behind each door, on each carriage, or whatever you're doing there. So it should end up looking like this little tube. 5 of them made up, and I'm just going to show you how to do this. Now I have cut those, and well, this is me probably being a little pernickety, but I always fold them inside so that the good side is facing inwards. Normally I would fold around the other way, but in this case you're going to be looking through that little door into this, and it may not make an awful lot of difference, but I like to just have it folded with the right side facing in, so that's why it's this direction. And then this glue tab will go over the top there, and that way you won't see that whenever you look on the inside. So just put glue along there and hold that down carefully until that's in place, and then you'll have a little tube formed, and these little pieces on the outside edges of it, up here and here, get folded backwards as well. So they're going to get folded out this way, and when you've got 6 of those ready, they're all ready to go onto this part here. So take this little piece here and just put glue around the 4 edges at the top here on the glue tabs, just like that. And then you'll set this down directly over one of these apertures. Now I'll have to put my head in screen probably to do that. There you are, but just make sure it's right behind the door, so that whenever you look in from the door on the other side, you'll not see any bits that you don't want to see obscuring that. Now I'm not going to fold this back now because I want it to stay nice and neat until it's used at the end, so it stays nice and flat. But that's how it should look at this stage, and then you go ahead with the other 5 and glue them directly on top of all these other apertures there. You can see I've got glue on all of the glue tabs around these, and I've also got some down here and here and here, and I'm just going to fold these up first of all and attach this on here. And it's easier if you actually fold this back and just set it on like this, and then you can put a little bone folder or a pokey tool or something in there and just make sure that you've got that all lined up there. Then you can come in with the other one and do the same in there, but you want all those little glue tabs to the inside this time. You don't want them on the outside at all. Once you've got that done, then you can go ahead and fold all of this up. You can do exactly the same here. Put glue on here and here and across the top 2 panels here, and obviously then you've got your glue on that, and all of this will come together then. This is the little carriage then, but before I go off and do a lot more die cutting, it just appealed to me that this would make a lovely little drawer compartment, and you could decorate that just as a little drawer gift box or whatever, but you could also make 4 of those and make them into a little chest of drawers for an advent calendar as well. So they don't necessarily have to be the little train carriages this way, they could be this way with little pull down drawers as well. Whew, it feels like ages ago since I last spoke to you, but I have got quite a lot of, well, I've got loads of die cutting done, to be honest. So let's have a little look and see what I've done. First of all, on here I cut out the beautiful little lights, and then you can probably see I added some crystal drops on the little bulbs, and I left those to dry first of all, and then I came back and glued that on. And I've got holly and berries on here as well, and I've got another one over there because the little berries aren't dry yet. And then I've gone ahead with all of this, so I'm just going to show you what I've done. The 4 carriages then are all cut out. I haven't got the numbers on yet, but I wanted to go ahead and show you what I have already done. Now have a little look in here. So this was the side panel, then this was the piece that I cut into the door to make the doorways of it, and then for every one of those little doors that I have cut out there, I've cut this little piece. So there's 6 of those all together. You can run the 6 through at one time, and I've cut those all out in red first of all. So you can see the red background in all of these. That's from the red piece with this. Then I have taped 2 of those together. So each one of these has got taped together and run through the die cutting machine. And I've done that 4 times. So 4 sets of that. And you can see that I've added each one of them onto the little doors there. And they're really, really nice. Lovely and glittery and sparkly. And that's what we want for a nice Christmas project like this. So next of all then I have, just let me see. Yes, I've cut out this piece here. And I've cut that out in gold mirror card. And there's different ways you could decorate that. There's actually a lovely little debossing star element that you can put into the center as you're cutting that out. And that will give you a little star piece. I thought this was rather nice with the 2 little stars cut out of it here. So I have cut that out and then cut that other one out in red. And I've glued each of those onto the tops of the 4 of these little carriages. I have cut it out and done it on the other side as well. So that's me sort of up to there, isn't it? Yeah. Now, next of all, I took this red dye. I'll just move these aside for a moment. So I used this dye along with this one and this one in the center. That's this one. And I cut that out 4 times in red with those 3 dyes together. And that gave me this panel here, which I glued directly on. And then I went back with this panel and I've cut that out 4 times as well. And that has given me these little arches. Then on some of them I have taken this, well on this one here I've taken this little die with Santa and I've just put that into the, well let's see, let's pretend it's on a red one here. I've put it in like this and then put it on here, but I've done it in gold glitter card. And I've also got one each of these little windows for the center and I've just popped that into the center of gold glitter card. And I have my last one to glue on here, and that's all the little windows done. You could have windows in all of those if you like. I have put gold glitter card because I thought the glitter was really, really lovely with that. Then you'll see this beautiful little garland. I've cut that out and I have that on 2 of them there, and 3 of them are going to have it all together. So that's going on there, and I'm going to put some crystal drops on top of that and then set those all aside to dry. But on this one with Santa, let's see what we've done here. There's a beautiful die that cuts this out. So I've actually taped the 2 together because you could put something else in the center of that if you wanted. I have cut it out in gold and that beautiful debossing Merry Christmas, and that goes on to the top. Then inside the panel that was used to cut out the roof, there's this one which is a bit smaller, and I have cut that out in gold glitter card, and I have put it on all of them except one, and I have it here, and I'm just about to put that on. And when I get that done, I'm just going to go back, as I said, and put the crystal drops on top of those little garlands, and then we'll look into the sorting out of the wheels and whatnot. I've got the wheels on, the little carriages now, and it looks good, doesn't it? The black in behind then and the gold on top. So I'm just going to set those ones aside and show you how to put them on, and I'm going to put them on the little engine part. Do you know, I would love you to give me a big thumbs up if you're enjoying this. I feel like I'm just kind of talking to myself and it's gone on for a long time, so I would appreciate a thumbs up if you do enjoy it. Thank you. Right, so I've got 2 wheels on there and I'm going to show you how to attach them on here. So I've cut out this die and it gives you obviously 3 pieces, so that will be 1 for each of these wheels, but I've actually cut that twice for each one of those, and I've glued 2 black discs together just to strengthen it. That's 300 GSM black card that I've used for the wheels. It's also 300 GSM card that I've used for the bases of these as well. Then I've taken the gold card with these and I've cut 1 each out of those, and then I've glued 1 on top of the 2 black discs like this. Now on this one you can just follow the placement here and see I put the center one on first and I put glue on the back of that and then just attach the top, and this just fits perfectly right across there. So on the front, sorry, I should have said you need to cut this out as well. So that will cut the big long bar that you see on these ones going right from wheel to wheel, and then it also gives you lots of these. You're going to end up with far too many of these small ones, but it just cuts it out on each one. So there you are. This couldn't be easier, because these just go right across from one to the other like that. And there we are. And I have been leaving these wheels all sort of the same way, so that there we are, so that little pointy part is up at the top. It doesn't really matter if it's not just quite like that. Now you can see this is sliding about a little. It's because I'm putting it onto mirror card, and mirror card is notorious for just slipping for a little bit until the glue attaches. So just put it on and leave it there for a minute or two. Now that has attached now actually, so I can turn this over, and you know that you'll only need glue on this part. You don't need it the whole way down there, because obviously the whole thing doesn't fit on. I'm just putting it round there, and then that goes on here just below that little red bit there, and then that keeps the wheels all level the whole way around. There you are. And isn't that really cute? And now my last two wheels, I've got one already on there. I'm going to turn this over and just put the other one on here. Now I'm going to need to leave that for a little moment or two, just to be sure that that's really, really well grabbed before I stand that up. But, oh, isn't that lovely? I've gone ahead and added the carriages to each other, and I've used this little die here. So in between each one, I think I'll just turn it over. Let me see how I could do that. Yeah, like that. So you can see here, I've used a brad, or a split pin as that would be called, and I have glued two of them together, two of these little die cuts together, and put a split pin in between it. So you can see here, for each side there takes one of these, but I've actually doubled that so that it's thick. It takes quite a little bit of weight on it, so you can see there I've cut one and then cut the other and glued it back to back on there. And then I have one more carriage to add on, so I'll just move it over. These are pretty big brads that I'm using. I had just bought those out of Hobbycraft a few weeks ago, and I don't actually have any smaller ones, but I thought they might be too big, but I'm actually thinking now that they're actually probably about the right size. So the easiest way to do this is really just to put the pin down in between the two and open it up like that, and then you can go ahead and glue one part on here, and then you'll glue this other part to the next carriage. I would wait until one part's glued first, and then you can add the second one on, and that just makes it all a bit safer and holds it together a bit better. I leave a little gap in between them, as you can see there. It's just a tiny little bit of overhang on this part. Oh, do you know, I'm doing that upside down because that's the way I was showing it to you. It's this way. You want the pin, that bit underneath, and the other piece in the center showing upwards. So put that in the center there like that, and then you'll put glue on the other bit here once that's dried, and then you can go ahead and just make sure you've all the carriages facing the right way. Then you'll attach that one on there. I'll actually just go ahead and do that now. Wait until the glue dries and grabs really, really well before you attempt to move that. If you feel you need to give it an extra bit of support, you could even put another little bit of glue just across that bit to hold it. A little bit of card or something even would hold that better, just to give it an extra bit of support. I did go ahead with the little rectangle die. I just found this one in the set, so I added a little rectangle on top of each of those little glue tabs just to make sure that was really, really secure. But I left the split pin outside of it so that they could actually still be detached, and then you could take this apart maybe for well, just for storage or whatever. You can take one or two or all of the carriages off. So you can see there I used a different rectangle on the back, and then two of the wreath dies. So that's this one and this one, and I cut that one out in ordinary green card and this one out in metallic, and put it on with a little bow on top of it. And I've just flicked those little edges up to give that a little bit more dimension. But now you can see that's everything done, except I haven't added the little numbers on. And the reason is that, oh goodness, this train, it's got so big now, it's hard to maneuver. There we are. So I had thought that I might like black numbers on there, and I actually had them all die cut, but I think it might be nice and green. So I'm going to cut them all out again in green and see how that goes. And I'll come back and show you the finished train very, very soon. But I seem to have been die cutting for quite a while. So that's one other thing to bear in mind with this. Do not rush this project, because and don't think you're just going to make it in an afternoon. There's quite a lot of work in it, quite a lot of die cutting and a lot of assembly as well. So give yourself plenty of time and just think it out, and make sure you take your time to get all of those little corners pressed, all the edges burnished, and everything really, really well secured. I'll put the numbers on and then I'll be back. I used green mirror card for that, and I think that actually worked out better than the black. I think it looks really, really lovely. So they're kind of randomly put on right across, and I'm sorry I'm having so much difficulty. I can't just get that all into shot at one time there, but hopefully I'll get nice photographs at the end. Anyhow, that's my little train finished, and I really hope you've enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. It was a lot of work, but I did enjoy it, and I'm very, very happy with how it's turned out. So I ask you once again, if you've enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and leave me a little comment, and let me know what you think of it. Let me know what colours you would have liked, what colours you would make yours in. It would be really, really lovely in black and gold, or red and silver even would be nice. Loads and loads of colours, and I know some of you like purples as well, so all sorts of things would be really, really lovely there. This is a little edit to add in that I'd actually forgotten to put the 25 on, so I've put it on here, and that sort of ties in with all the rest of it. Oops. So one more thing, you can actually make a truck from that die set as well, and obviously I haven't made it in this video. Keep an eye open. If I get a chance, I'm very, 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 very busy at the minute, but if I do get a chance, I will come back and make that. And if you have subscribed and hit the notification bell, well then you'll know when it comes out, because you'll get a little notification to let you know, and hopefully if I get round to doing that, you'll enjoy that too. But it's made from the same set as this, so it's a very, very versatile set. Thank you very, very much if you've stuck with me until now. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you're going to try to make this yourself, and I hope you enjoy making it as well as just watching. Well, my affiliate links will be down below. Don't forget, subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, share, comment, whatever you can to help my little channel along. I really appreciate that. And thanks to everybody who does use my affiliate links. That gives me a little commission, but doesn't cost you anything extra at all. So very, very much appreciated. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye bye.